Good morning. This is Pastor Jason of Kona Faith Center with the word for today. The word for today is demonstrate. My life should demonstrate that I am God's servant. Can people see my purity, my knowledge, my patience, my kindness, the Holy Spirit's presence, my sincere love, my truthfulness, the word of truth that I bring, the word of faith that I bring, by the presence of God's power, by righteousness in all areas of my life, by honoring those that deserve honor, and by dishonoring those things that need to be dishonored? Wow, what a question. These are the things that demonstrate I am God's servant. Now, the word demonstrate means to show or make clear, to show something and explain how it works. This is difficult at best. How do I evaluate if my life makes being God's servant clear to those around me? How do I evaluate if my life explains how to become and live as God's servant? How do I demonstrate purity? A life not stained or contaminated by sin? How do I demonstrate knowledge of God and His Word? How do I demonstrate patience, long suffering? How do I demonstrate kindness? How do I demonstrate the word of truth, the word of faith? How do I demonstrate the presence of God's power? How do I demonstrate righteousness in every area of my life? How do I demonstrate honor? Well, I think it starts by asking these questions of yourself. How do you do this? And I think it starts with asking the Lord to speak to me, to show me, to reveal to me the answers to these questions from His perspective. Now, clearly to me, I will need to recognize that I am God's co-laborer, so that I don't think that it's going to be all God, that He's going to do it, or that it's going to be all me, that I'm going to do it. God definitely has a part to play in my demonstration of being His servant. I definitely have a part to play in my demonstration of being His servant. God makes His grace, His empowerment, His supply available to me, along with the knowledge, the understanding, and the wisdom necessary to do so. My part's not to waste any of His grace, His empowerment, His supply, but to put those things to work. Not being lazy, not being puffed up, not being focused on the wrong things. So my current position on these questions is that if I understand that I belong to Him, if I understand that I am His co-laborer, if I understand that it is His plan for His purpose, even though He has invited me to participate in them fully, if I understand that my focus needs to be living in a way that pleases Him, which will actually be the most enjoyable way to live, and I act on these understandings, then I will naturally demonstrate that I am God's servant in a way that is clear and in a way that explains how to be God's servant to anyone who is willing to consider it. Does my life demonstrate that I am God's servant? Does yours? I think this is a question that's worth asking from time to time. The word for today is demonstrate. God bless. Check in tomorrow.